day my husband and I were given Kathleen Rose's diagnosis is a day that we'll not forget in a hurry. They told us that our daughter would be very lucky to survive past her first birthday.
At our 22-week scan, we were given a diagnosis that John Paul had anencephaly. Anencephaly is a condition where the baby's brain doesn't develop fully, and so when the baby is born, he doesn't have the capacity within himself for his brain to regulate the rest of his body. How I felt when I got that diagnosis, I think there was two parallel things. The first thing was just total devastation, just watching the future that you had seen for your child just, disappear before your eyes. I realised at the same time, this child is a gift from God. All our children have been a gift from God, and so is this one. And I do believe that all of us are made in the image of God, and so every child brings a little image of who God is into our lives. And I don't need to fear that. That is something I can look forward to, and that was very real as well. And in fact, it gave me, in the midst of the human searching and inability to accept, it gave me an anchor, a point where I felt rooted, where I felt this is okay.
Trisomy 13 is a chromosome condition, and Kathleen has many different anomalies, I suppose, going on within her little system. It was a very dire prognosis. It was presented to us in a very bleak way. We knew in our hearts that we just wanted whatever was best for our daughter, and we just wanted her to reach her full potential, whatever that would be, whatever that would mean.
At the time, the doctor told me I had two choices, that I could travel to England and have a termination, or that if I wanted to continue with the pregnancy, that they would look after us. I couldn't imagine. Already so much was taken from him in my book. I had wanted a whole long life for him, a long life of love and joy, and already that had gone. So the idea that I could go and take the little bit he had left from him was just heartbreaking to me. Everything in me, I wanted to protect him. I remember at the time asking the doctor, will he suffer? That was my big question. And the doctor assured us that actually, no, this baby does not know any different. He is safe in your womb. He couldn't tell when we'd have to let John Paul go or how it would happen, but that there would be no suffering for him.
The term fatal fetal abnormality is not only hurtful to parents, it's also medically inappropriate and extremely misleading. No doctor can say with certainty just how long a child with these conditions will actually live outside the womb. Kathleen has surprised us in so many ways. The fact that she's still here with us, she's now 10 years old, is just amazing. Well, when we were given Kathleen's diagnosis, we were told she wouldn't be able to do anything. We were told at the time that she may have a very negative impact on our other children. And even though her health is very fragile and she gets sick on and off from times to time, she's actually a very robust child, very energetic child, and she actually brings the best out in the children. If you were to sum up Kathleen's personality, she smiles and she hugs and she just loves, she just shows nothing but love. And that can break through the children when they are actually feeling down. They always go into Kathleen. So it's just the presence that she brings.
When John Paul was born, he lived for 17 minutes before he passed away. And those 17 minutes, when I remember them, the prevailing sense I have is the peace of that time. It was a peaceful time. He was in our arms. He was held. All those 17 minutes, he was held by somebody who loved him. We had no idea when he would die, but as my husband cut the cord, I could feel, I could see just a stillness come over John Paul. It was such a peaceful moment, and we knew that he had slipped away from us, but it was also a moment of completeness. We had walked the journey as far as we could go with him. We had done everything we could for him. We had given him everything that we wanted to give him, and now we could let him go. And for us as parents who have faith, in God and in, God's kingdom, we were letting him go to somewhere where he could be complete, where he could be fully healthy, where he could be fully alive, but not far from us, always with us. Facing the death of your child is the one part, when you're given a diagnosis like that, it's the one part that you can't avoid. Whereas giving yourself the opportunity of experiencing your child's life and knowing who your child is and allowing that child to have an impact on you, that's a rich experience and that's a profound experience. And I today, 10 years later, am still experiencing the benefits of having known this little boy and having loved him and having allowed him into my heart.
Kathleen, when you're living with her day in and day out, she just teaches us so much. She teaches us to accept people the way they are, to be, non-judgmental. She teaches us that you need to take every day as it comes and to celebrate every day. I'm just thinking of her first Holy Communion day when I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted her dress to be lovely, her hair to be perfect. I wanted these lovely pictures. And every single thing that could have went wrong that morning and our rush out as a family to the church happened. Kathleen crawled out of her seat and got dirt over her dress. I'd taken her to the hairdressers to get her hair done. And of course she'd pulled out half of it by the time we got to the church. I remember driving to the church and just thinking, you know what, God, you're teaching me again, how much you're teaching me through this little child to be content with imperfection and to not want to always be in control.
John Paul has impacted our family in such a positive way. The biggest thing I've learned from him is to live more in the moment and see the person in front of me, because every moment is passing and every experience is passing. And I do believe my children have really benefited from that too. I believe we've had richer moments of enjoying one another's company because we see the value of being here for one another in the here and now.
I think right now in Ireland we are at the brink of a very special time in our history, and I think we really need to stand up and shed light on what we have right now in our Irish culture, which is beautiful, and that is a very deep respect and love and dignity for all our citizens, whether born or unborn, whether disabled or whether medically perfect. Children like my daughter, Kathleen Rose, are protected and valued and cherished within our constitution. The repeal of the 8th will change that in a very dramatic way.
There's some treasure that you have to dig for. And babies like these are the lives that actually, when you dig for this treasure, you find treasure beyond what you could have imagined. And to lose that in our society and in our culture is to lose something very profound, I believe.